Welcome everybody to Tales from the Tackle Shop. We are on episode 25 and it happens to be the last episode of season 2. So today is the last one for a little while. Just pass myself over to my co-host Alex. How have you been?
Yeah, busy mate, yeah. Busy. 25 episodes, God that's been long, isn't it? When you think we normally start in September and now it's June.
We finished in April the first year.
Did we?
Yeah, we went end of September to April, and I think, when was the first lockdown?
Lies.
When was the first lockdown?
I think it was end of March, wasn't it? 21st of March, it was Mother's Day.
That's right, yeah, so we started lockdown in March, and then we've done virtually the whole of season 2 under restrictions as well. So I reckon we've done most of it, over half of these podcasts in season 1, season 2 with some type of restriction. So I think considering all the things we've had to work with, we've done really well. And I think also, I'll talk about this in a minute, just thanks to everybody who's listened, because we've obviously had some worth of what we said, and we've had loads of people listening to the podcast over the last, nearly a year really, since September. But like I said, I'll go through that in a minute. So hope next season, let's hope it's COVID free and we can do more guests as well, because that's something we really struggled.
Yeah, that's the hardest thing, isn't it?
Yeah, during COVID it was impossible. I mean, you couldn't even come around my house, so we had to change to doing it over the phone, which was technically okay, but fraught with anything could go wrong. Mm-hmm. But we managed to do that, and the last few we've actually done in the restaurant here, which has been a lot easier, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So that's been good, but it'd be quite nice to have people drop in and get a few more guests on next season. So yeah, we've done well, I think, considering all the restraints we've had
obviously
to do.
We've had Winnie, Wills and Moore, they've been on, haven't they?
Yeah, I've got some stats. How many stats? No, I've left those. We've had Winnie, Simon Willsmore, we had Tom Hunt on, we had Tom and Kev on at the beginning in September last year after the WPC, which seems like a lifetime ago. Tom Moyer, and we had the two Adels on, Women in Angling. Oh God, have I missed anybody?
Probably, yeah.
I think that was a lot less than we had in season 1 because of COVID, wasn't it? So really, to listeners, this works best if you let us know who you want on. So we're having a few months off, and we'll have a little rethink of how we can do this even better, probably back end of September, October. And if people want certain guests on, just let us know. We'll try and sort of twist their arm.
It's been hard to sort of, we had no match results, have we? It's, for most of it, it's been bad, isn't it? It's amazing bit of normality. You miss it, don't you?
I know we set this up to sort of feed into the local match scene, the opens on the natural venues, and obviously this season it's been non-existent. Well, we'll come on to that in a minute, because obviously I'm going to ask you a few questions about what you got planned in your head and match fishing wise over the next few months. But let's just go over the stats, because I think we need to thank all the people who have listened. I've just totted this up quickly. I think season 2 we've had over 17,000 downloads, right, which is not bad. So we've done 24 episodes. This is 25, and we've had 5 guest episodes, which was 29 before today. 12,500 people downloads on YouTube, which is pretty cool. 4,500 via the audio podcasts, such as Apple, Google, Podbean, and etc. So we're averaging 86 downloads per episode. So I think to everyone listening out there, thank you for your support. That's been really good. I think season 1 we were averaging that 350, so we're growing, which is good. Obviously we're going to try and pump it a bit harder for September, October time, and spread it a bit more, rather than just locally, perhaps a bit more nationally, because I think from what I can gather talking to lots of anglers is a lot of the local anglers actually listen, which is really nice. But if we can just sort of spread it a bit more, that would be really cool. Yeah, so I think we've done a good job.
Yeah. Well done.
Andrew, well done. Let's pat ourselves on the back. Pat ourselves on the back. And
build this for the day.
Yeah. No, it's been good. But like I said, I think we need to thank all the people who have tuned in, to use an old tuned in.
Proper Fenny, and it tuned and YouTube.
Yeah. Right, before we get on to the match results, let's just have a little crystal ball gazing. We did this, I don't know if you remember, at the end of the first season. And because COVID was fresh, I think we were trying to guess when we were going to be fishing again and blah, blah, blah. So we won't have to do any of that. But plans for next season. So, or should I say for the next season of the podcast. So if we start again end of September, October, what have you got lined up in between finishing now and starting then?
Work.
It's never ending for you, is it?
No, I've got quite a few little mini festivals that I'm going on. I've got one, well, end of this month on the Buren the Thurn is like a pairs thing. We do that. Look forward to that greatly. I've got to find my kit first. I think it's in one of my 3 sheds, probably underneath a load of boxes of something or other. So I've got to find that. And then first week in July I'm away for a week, so really looking forward to going to Tamar, which I love it down there. It's brilliant fishing, really is good. Missed it last year with COVID and everything, so can't wait for this year. That's really good fishing.
Is that going to be mainly feeder?
No, hope not. Hope not. I know it gets a lot of sort of spotlight with feeder fishing because of the feeder masters, but it's probably the best pole venue in the country as well.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's, you know, you can do bigger weights on the pole, I would have thought, and you don't know, the fish every year the fish are getting a bit bigger and maybe a bit wiser, I don't know, but there's a lot of roach in there which you can catch on the short pole and whip, and hopefully a few skimmers and that. And last festival they had in July, obviously there wasn't one last year, but the year before you needed to catch £50 a day, so
Ooh.
That's mega fishing. I'm hoping that it might be like that this year, so I'm really looking forward to that. Team wise, we're going to do the Division 2 National this year on the Gloucester Canal, so we're going to put a bit of effort in for that. Hopefully, you know, the aim is to get promoted. The Division 1, we've not done a national as a dive or tackle and baits team yet, so hopefully we can do well and get promoted to Division 1, and then it doesn't clash with Ireland then. I think that's the biggest thing, because normally when Division 1 is, it's when we're in Ireland, so Division 2 is always when we're in Ireland, so we're not, I don't think that any of us are going to Ireland this year, but the Division 1's normally in August, so if we can get promoted, that won't clash.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So we've got that. Little trip up to Scotland, have a go at Loch Ken again. Didn't do it any justice last year. I think, I think there's a few more fish there to be had, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
2 hook rig?
No, I'm still not going to do that. No, I'm going to try and concentrate on the pole a bit and whip. I tried to catch on the pole last year a bit too much, and I think the whip was just so much better on the venue. So there's that, and then obviously start of the Winter League then, and back to the podcast. So before you know it,
It will be.
winter fishing, blasting squats in, and hopefully catching a load of roach. And for you, catching pike.
Yes, I mean, it's not going to be far away, is it? Because everything's got very switched on very quickly with this hot weather, and summer soon passes, and we'll be straight onto it. Yeah, I'm just thinking I've got a couple of lure matches. I've got the Lake Challenge, which is on Rutland, so that's in August, September and October, and I've done really badly in any lure competitions I've gone in. I've only gone in 4, and they're different. It's just a different mindset, so this year I really need to do better than that. I've got the World Predator Classic again in August, so I need to do a lot better in that. And it's like anything, you've just got to practice at it. It's okay going for pleasure fishing sessions and smashing giant fish out of wherever you're going, but in a match with the pressure on a time, it's a completely different kettle of fish to coin a phrase. So that would be something that I'm really looking forward to. Just hope the weather's not going to spoil it and be too hot and the water get too deoxygenated and it not be good for the fishing. Fen and Guardian scheme has been a major success this year. Been really pleased with that. And the number of people we've had come on board and angling clubs, I think we've got 8 angling clubs on board now. We just need one more.
So who's the angling clubs that are on board then?
I'm going to miss people off here. March and District,
Ramsey?
Kings Lynn,
Lynn?
Parkfield,
Right.
Pop Jolly, RNA Angling,
Is
so
it?
that's Rayfield, middle part of the
right.
16-foot. The British Pike Squad, which is top end of the 16-foot.
Mm-hmm.
Benwick.
Yeah. Ramsey?
No, not yet. I'm in communication with Keith and they're having to think about it, but I don't, it's up to those guys. There's, oh Lord, it'll come to me. Whittlesea and District, obviously. That's it, yeah. So, don't want to put any pressure on Keith at all. Those boys are sorting things out their end, but if they could join, that would be great, because then we'd have the whole of that middle level system sewn up. I think we've mentioned it a few podcasts ago, but all the volunteers that helped out with the litter pick was incredible. So I'm not going to reiterate all of those stats again, but that was an eye-opener of how many people are willing to help, so that was really good. And we're going to have a meeting at some point in the future. I'm going to invite one person from each angling club and other related people who are a part of the scheme, and we're going to hold it at Parkfield. Pop Jolly has kindly offered to hold the meeting there. This has yet to be arranged, obviously, because of COVID and everything else. We need to wait till we come out of lockdown before we can do that, but that will be really good. I think also I need to thank Environment Agency, particularly Alex Thompson. He's been so supportive of the scheme, and he's kind of pushed it from his level upwards. I think the managers are now listening to him a lot more about the Fen and Guardian scheme, which has been really cool. And the police RCAT unit, absolutely brilliant. Norfolk and, Cambridge and Norfolk RCAT units have just been fully on board with it. So it's been like, wow, it's good stuff. So that's from my own personal perspective. No holidays, obviously, because of what's going on. But it'd be nice just to look forward next year, wouldn't it, for some angling adventures, because I normally go musky fishing to America. Not going. Normally go to Sweden in March. It'd be nice if that's on again for next year.
It's to be done.
I am hopefully going to Ireland in November. So hopefully that will take
I think it'll be
place.
alright pleasure fishing, won't it? Can't see.
I hope so.
Yeah. Southern Ireland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rookery.
Rookery.
Biggest, it's massive, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the plan, but we'll see what happens. Yeah. Cool. Okay, so we've got quite a few things that we can report back on once we get going in September and October. And like you said, Alex, we'll hopefully have the Open start kicking into gear on the natural venues. So that'll be really good. And we can get the guests on. And I think if we base it in the restaurant here, it would be easier to get people in, and we can perhaps invite them in for an afternoon. And then we got them, haven't we, like captive audience. A couple of things that I want to try and push with the podcast is I think we mentioned this in season 1, and then COVID hit before we got established. And we were going to try and have some youngsters on, weren't we? So I think the youngsters we had planned to get on are now 2 years older.
They are, yeah.
So I don't even know they're getting as youngsters anymore. But again, I think that's something we can come back to in season 3. Wow. But I think we need to get a few juniors on and kind of get them telling their tale of how they got into angling and what they're into now. So that's something we need to push more. And just basically utilise what we've got and really push the whole thing. So that'd be really cool. Right, you've had a busy weekend at the complex, didn't you?
Yeah, well,
Do you want to start with that one first?
Yeah, I've just picked a couple of matches to sort of comment on, really. Obviously, it's been two weekends of matches that we've sort of missed out on, but lot this weekend. The weekend before was bank holiday, so very busy, which is brilliant. We had the usual Saturday Open, which went really well. But the one that probably fished the best was Monday's match. We had 44 fishing. It was on Raven and Jay. I suppose I better mention Saturday's match. Keep Polly happy, isn't it, really? So, the Saturday match, Mark Pollard.
Who's he?
Never heard of him, mate. He won the match with £258, just for shallow all day and a mega day. So he won Magpie with that, and then Raven was the other lake. Stuart Bracey had 173 on Saturday, so had a good weight, and that was every single pegging on there. So
that was the 2 Saturday matches?
Yeah, so that was the Saturday match,
yeah.
But obviously continental payout. And then on the Monday, it was Jay and Raven. I think, just for example, on Monday, the first 6 pegs, say on Jay, it went £170, £187, £222, £244, £240, £135, £195, and it was just like £100 all the way around. It fished its head off, and a lot of it is this mugging or dobbing. There's quite a... Every year, as soon as it warms up, some people don't like it, some people love it. It's same every year. My view on it is it only lasts for a little while, and people say, oh, just dropping it in front of a fish that's swimming past ain't fishing, blah blah blah. But to be honest, any sort of fishing
is that
if you're a carp angler and you see a fish turn at 70 metres on your syndicate lake, what are you going to do?
Well, let's talk about them.
You're going to chuck in and chuck to where you've seen that fish. So surely that's the same thing.
Yeah, think about the most purest part of the sport would be fly fishing on a trout stream, wouldn't it?
Yeah, or what about surface fishing?
And what do you do on a trout stream when you find a fish and cast to them?
Yeah,
so.
I don't get it. And it's the same if you're fishing on a lake and you're feeding down the edge and all of a sudden you see some swells down there. Well, you drop in on it, don't you, and try and catch it.
Isn't that the art of fishing?
I think there's a little bit of sour grapes with, fishing has evolved over the years and maybe people can't do it, which is, fair enough, I understand, but everyone has their, if you said to 10 different anglers, what do you hate the most? They'd all say probably something different. So, yeah, bit of that anyway, but there's still an art to it. It's like bread dobbing, anyone can do that. Well, can you, mate? Why is Lewis Hamilton better than anyone else? Anyone could drive a truck car, surely. Do you know what I mean? It's the same thing, but so that little whinge is over and done with. Stuart Bracey won Raven again. He had £193 fishing down the edge, so he did mega. There was a couple of 170s. I think Jimmy Brooks had 177. There was some 150s, or 160s, 150s, 130s. He fished really well, and that was sort of the first weekend of hot weather that we had. During the week they've spawned. We had a few iffy days with the weather. We had a day, I think it was last Friday, where it was raining and that, so yeah, it was not ideal for the fish when they're in spawning mode. They don't like it, a bit of pressure change. And then this weekend the fishing was a bit more difficult, it was a bit patchier. Again, mugging seemed to sort of take place. Saturday's match was on Jay and Magpie. Quite a few people thought that there would be some big weights on Magpie again. It didn't really switch on. I think they were still had a monk on from spawning. And Lewis Fensom, the guru pin-up boy, he had £149. Still a mega weight, don't get me wrong, still a mega weight. Do you know what I mean? People expect too much, don't they?
Yeah.
From peg 1 on there, and then the winner was Rob Heath on Jay at 183 on cast to shallow. So it's like bait sales have gone from just trickling over nice and steady to just absolute joke. So, yeah.
But your steady bait sales are like massive anyway. Yeah. So with the increased bait sales, it's just going to be
and the start of the season as well. So it's and to top it all off, my fridge has been playing up. So
that's been a headache for you, hasn't it? Let's just do a bit of an advert here. If people want to get bait ordered for the beginning of the season, let you know. Don't just turn up, because I think there's a shortage of other tackle shots, but you've been really good. You've got your supplies in, but you do need a heads up.
Yeah, it just gives us, we'll save it for you. some people think they can ring up on a Thursday and go, "Can I have a gallon of casters, please, Al?" And you're like, "Yeah," but do you know what I mean? You need to order it in advance. We do our very best to keep everyone happy, but just sometimes you can't.
No, particularly casters, you've got to turn them.
I hate letting people down. But
how much notice do you need? 2 or 3 days?
Well, more than that really. And the problem is the heat as well. So everyone wants casters when it's red hot, and when it's red hot, you can't leave them out because you need to leave them out for them to turn, but they just get too hot and they die. And all the casters are rubbish and stretched. So it's frustrating really. In an ideal world, you'd have a fridge full of bait turning that turns over in the fridge, but you need the fridge space for maggots to sell. So it's like it's just one of them things. But that's that. So Rob Heath won it with 183. There was 145, 139, 120 odd all on Che. So it's still good weights, but the fish weren't. When they're not happy and they're sort of it's hot and stuff. So that was Saturday. The midweek matches have been doing well. The over 60s sort of around the £100 mark. They haven't had no real big weights in the over 60s, but they've been consistent and really close matches. Good attendances again. And the most pleasing thing is the Thursday matches. Last year we thought that they were popular because of COVID, people on furlough and stuff like that, but I'm pretty sure 90% of the people have gone back to work now, and the attendances are probably more consistent than they were last year. So, it's taken a while to get the Thursdays going, but it's proving popular. A lot of people are using the Thursdays as their Super Cup thing, so obviously there's been a lot in the press about this. Obviously it's like a head-to-head type thing. A few people don't want to do it on a Saturday because they might draw on different lakes, but to me, what's the difference between drawing one end of the lake to the other? Wind's blowing one end, flat calm the other. It's irrelevant. So it swings and roundabouts, but a lot of them have been doing that on a Thursday because they're on the same lake, which, if that's fair enough.
It does make it as even as you possibly can, I suppose. But I know what you're saying about it could be 5 foot pegs apart. It could be a relatively different peg, different lake. Yeah, I know we said about it before, but the match numbers at Rookery Waters have been amazing. I mean, the over 60s must be averaging 33, 34 match. Yeah,
it's gone a bit. Last week was a bit low, I think, because it's half term and people can go away on holiday and that now. They can get out, can't they?
But I also think these guys knew the fish were spawning.
Possibly, I don't know about that. I think a lot of them get in a routine of coming every Wednesday, and you get a core of a few on a Thursday that come every Thursday, and Saturdays is mad really because you think, there's a Maver qualifier at Decoy, so you think, we're going to be low on numbers this week, but it doesn't seem to affect it. 50 odd anglers every Saturday. Yeah, this Saturday was probably the lowest we've had. We had 41. Yeah, it's mad. And
you have club matches on a Sunday here?
Yeah, club matches, it's good. The fishery does get a lot of pressure, but we try and look after it best we can with the aerators and water.
Well, you do very well because you rotate the lakes depending on the numbers.
We do, we don't...
And where people have fished before as well.
Yeah, we don't have a match on, say, every Tuesday's on that lake.
Yeah.
We try and move it about a bit just to rest lakes, and that's all you can do really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been I think it's amazing, and like I said, the average numbers for the matches is just incredible. It's
not really even like your club matches is good.
Yeah.
Not just one club. All the clubs are sort of thriving because of certain things or another. But it's good. It's really good.
It's interesting to see what happens when the river season opens. I should imagine you've still got hardcore.
I think
commercial
I think a few of the river boys are starting to dwindle enough now already. You've got basically probably your tendencies will perhaps drop by 10, but then you get a lot of the anglers that are chasing the money events. They sort of finish up and they've either qualified or they're sort of not given up, but they're sort of the qualifiers are too far to travel or whatever.
Yeah.
And so you get them come back, so it sort of balances itself out nice. I mean, some Saturdays, we could have probably done 70 odd pegs.
Yeah, I know, it's
It's
crazy.
mad, but no, it's good.
And not as though you've been busy enough, you also last weekend had the Ladies Festival on.
Yeah, so it's something that was meant to go on last year, but obviously got called off. Originally there was nearly 40. That's what we planned for, to use 2 lakes, but with everything, you know what it's like when people make commitments a year or so in advance.
Yeah.
It's a bit difficult. I think they ended up with 22. So they used Raven on the first day and Magpie on the second day. So Abby Kendall organised it, which is, you know, fair play to Abby. No one else has had the sort of bottle or anything to do it, which is great. They've travelled. There was quite a few of the England ladies fishing, and I think they're going to do the event again next year, a little bit later in the year. I think July, first weekend in July, and I think they'll get quite a few more. I think everyone that come enjoyed it.
Good.
There was a few anglers that had probably not fished any matches before because, you know, a lot of the ladies fish against the men that fished, but there's a few that hadn't, if you know what I mean. And
it's a good way
did
to
well.
have a less intimidating feel to a match.
Yeah.
Because can you imagine some of the old men?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, it was just good, really. I think Abby managed to get prizes from Map, Matrix, Guru. They all donated some prizes, so everyone went home with a goodie bag, which is good, you know, encourage them back hopefully, and just push them into the sort of club and open match circuit and get more ladies fishing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was good.
And the winner was?
The winner was Shannon Swallow. Obviously, he's a local expert. Abby didn't fish herself. She's obviously heavily pregnant and organising it as well.
Yeah.
I think, quite a bit stressful for her. So they were the main 2 local ones, I would say. But no, I think Julie Abbott was second, England ladies. So yeah, it was good. Some of the girls come from Swindon, Manchester, Kent, all over the place. So
This fly is desperate to land on me.
that's
really good.
Quick enough.
That's because I don't know.
Yeah.
I've been too close to you and your dad. That's what it is.
I smell all right.
That's really good, isn't it? And I need to apologise because I actually was going to come down and do some video and I just didn't know it was on. Things got ahead of me.
Yeah,
There we go. We'll make more effort next season. That's good though. 22 is a good turnout.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Particularly with it's half-term week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you think about it, which makes it a little bit more harder for families as well. But it's really, really good. Right, so fishing-wise, commercial fishing-wise, it's really healthy, isn't it? I know you're incredibly busy chasing stock, getting stock in, getting the bait ready, getting the fishery ready, trying to please 1,001 customers. But you've got to be very pleased with yourself that you've, the last year or so, things are really growing and growing.
Yeah, I think a lot of that is fishing in general is growing. Yeah. You know, fishing's the amount of people that are coming up on a Sunday, for example. You know, I've just got into fishing. Which lake do you advise? It's fantastic. You know, really good, and it's good for the trade. It's good for us anglers. It's good for everyone, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I mean, okay, there's the issues with stock and things like that, but that's nothing really, is it? When you think.
I think most people got their heads around it now.
Yeah. If you see it, get it.
Yeah, and also prices have to go up because of. I think you spoke about it last episode before the container.
Yeah.
I didn't realise.
Yeah.
But when you think about it, like even the cost of shipping containers and so forth. I'll tell you what was interesting. I bumped into Simon Willsmore, talking to him and about the Hydra gear that he's distributing at the minute and how well that's made. And he was saying that's all handmade luggage in Italy. And I just think now's the perfect time for English entrepreneurs who want to get into doing fishing tackle to actually make quality luggage in this country, equipment, tackle that they don't have to rely on cheap components from Mexico, China, India, and obviously the cheap labour. I think that had its time, and the pandemic showing that actually there's a high demand for high quality products that are going to cost more but are going to last longer. So it's been interesting sort of watching all that side of things. No, it's been really good. Is there anything else that you really want to talk about on this podcast?
Not really. We've just talked shit all the way through, haven't we, really? Do you know what I mean? We've just waffled on about anything we can think of, but it's
It wasn't as bad as over the winter period. We honestly had nothing to talk about because it was bad.
Oh yeah, someone went pleasure fishing the other day.
Yeah.
He caught 2 bream, one with one eye. Yeah.
At least it's been a bit more poignant, isn't it, with the commercials going on here?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been good. I've got a really good feeling about this season. I just think angling's very positive, and the way people generally are sort of like just wet defending guardian skin, the litter pick, that just blew me away. The ladies competition, 22 female anglers, brilliant. That's all growing. The 2 ladies I met on the riverbank, that's growing. Youngsters in the sport is probably low, but seems to be.
I don't know. This last half term just gone. You feel bad when 13, 14-year-old lads are turning up and you're sort of saying, look, have you got an adult with you? No. And you're like, you need to have an adult with you. Do you know what I mean? They can't go down the local river and catch some fish or whatever, but it's just good to see them fishing.
Yeah. I'm just thinking that I think that there was definitely more younger anglers when you were a youngster, and definitely more when I was a youngster. However, I think it's picking up again. I think families, I don't know, just this, tech generation, it's probably, I don't know, hit a peak. And there's YouTube channel. That YouTube's brilliant for fishing. There's so much stuff on there. You can pick things up, and there's so much help for people out there with different organisations that are now really up to speed with everything. I just think the whole future for angling is really, really good. It'd be nice if the the governing bodies and the people we pay and the organisations we pay into could get on top of the perennial problems we have with like the predation. I think that's the next big issue. We're kind of getting better with the illegal fishing and the illegal fish removal. That has improved dramatically, the policing of that the last couple of years. And I think the next challenge now is going to be otters and cormorants. I really do.
I know it sounds weird, but I haven't seen many cormorants lately.
Yeah, but they will be back. They do migrate, don't they? They're those.
Yeah, that's interesting.
They're not the indigenous species to the British coastline. Yeah.
I was speaking to someone the other day about that, and that's interesting.
Yeah.
Because I think certain laws in other countries you can shoot them.
They can, and there's no limit.
So maybe our European friends can do us a few favours.
I think they possibly are.
Yeah.
All I know is last September on Rutland they were expecting a count of 8,000, and the cormorant bird count was 12,000 a day. That's
a day?
Yeah, that's how many were on the lake at that one point.
How do they count?
Well, I suppose they're different spots, and they do a rough sampling.
And then they fly over to the other spot and they count.
No, at the same time, I suppose. Some of the flocks on there last year were huge.
12,000 birds.
Yeah. Yeah, that's unsustainable, isn't it? And that was from is it ornithologist?
You'd think that those reservoirs would be pushing to be able to shoot them. Just think how many trout and that they're eating.
Yeah.
I know they say they put them in at cormorant proof or whatever.
2-pounders, yeah.
But surely they still damage them and stress them.
Spear them with the bills.
And for the fishing as well, pushing them in certain areas of the lake where only the cormorants can go.
I was on Grafham last year, sort of November time, and a flock of cormorants came down and they were all working together. You can see they were herding a shoal of fish across the main body of the resi. Yeah.
Another day.
Yeah, another day. But that's, definitely. Right, mate, anything else you want to add? Nope.
No, just thanks everyone for listening, and sorry if we've bored you. Sorry for Andy's pike fishing.
Yeah.
Non-existent pike fishing.
Yeah, I don't catch anything. So
You've heard of ghost carp? These are ghost pike.
They are. Yeah. I've picked just me going.
You caught one in your bedroom the other week. Impressive,
Before we go, I told you about the Balabini dream I had, about Balabini shot, which is very weird. Told Simon Willsmore, and his response was, "I'm sad."
Well, we all know that, don't we?
And then last week I dreamt I caught a £40 pike
Right.
and was panicking to photograph it quickly and put it back.
Yeah.
Isn't that bizarre? That'd be one of my dreams, to catch a £40 pike. And now I was dreaming about catching it, not enjoying the fact that I caught a monstrous pike, but worried about the fish care. But how funny. We've got to go. We've been rattling on too long.
Yeah, I'm about to fall asleep here, I think.
Alex, thank you for your help doing this. It's been...
Thank you for doing what you do. I mean, all the tech shit that you do, you know.
We won't go to that,
No.
but yeah, it's been a pleasure. I've really enjoyed doing it, and thank you for everyone for. Obviously, it wouldn't be worth doing unless we had all these people listening. So it's great. So keep the comments coming in. Let us know any thoughts you have for season 3, and we'll see you probably end of September, beginning of October.
Mm-hmm.
And as always, before he takes the mickey out of me, this has been
Tales from the Tackle Shop, a Fenland Fishing TV production.
beautiful.